Hello everyone, I plan to do a live stream within a few hours of uploading this video, so I'd like to do a little poll. Right now, everyone go to YouTube's comment section and tell me what time it is you are watching this video right now. And include your time zone, or convert it to GMT or UTC if you don't want to give away your location. I want to do a poll to see where my viewers live mostly, or rather what time you viewers catch my channel, so I know when's the best time to live stream. Thank you very much. Today I'll be playing a Rush Biotech deck. This is basically what I think is the best way to play with the newly released card, and offer you can't refuse. Now, when it was first released, everyone was all hyped up, everyone overrated the card and thought that the best way to combo it was with JINTEKI Ice. All the trappy eyes such as Komainu, Tsurugi, everything that you can throw at the runner to force them to flatline themselves. Nope, that doesn't work that way. Life isn't so simple. Because an offer you can't refuse is a terrible card. It costs 4 to play, it's incredibly expensive. And the runner always just has the option of saying, you know what, you can have your 1 agenda point. I'm not interested at all. That 1 agenda point needs to actively contribute to your victory. And it's very hard to make your deck fulfill that requirement. Or you use the 1 agenda point as Archer Fodder, or other similar ice, or Corporate Town. In this deck, I'm using it to make sure that I can win with only 6 agenda points. This means I don't need to score 5-3 to win. I do have 2 future perfects in my deck, but I'm using the 2 best 2-pointer agendas in JINTEKI, which is Nisei Mark 2 and Medical Breakthrough, because Medical Breakthrough becomes a 3-2 or even a 2-2 once there are enough of them in the score areas, which is pretty cool. Philotic Entanglement is worthy as well, but I went with Medical Breakthrough because making it easier to score can be a huge boon against runners who are expecting to lock your remote. I'm playing up against a Gabriel Santiago today, and it's a very janky deck that I see on my opposing side. You would think that Gabriel Santiago is only interested in running nets all the time. Turns out he has an interest in net pavilions, seeking connections through the online realm, and this making sure that his connections and resources are all distantly remote, such that it's very hard to track them down once he starts getting tagged. Very tactical move by Gabriel Santiago there, and looks like he went to the Chrome Parlor for some eye enhancements to make it even more difficult to track him down, or in this case, making his eyes sharper as he makes his runs through the corporate servers. I'm slowly building up my corporate servers myself. My main goal right here is to create a HQ that's 2 ice deep, so that now I can rest 1 ice without worrying about having him get an easy siphon. Now, this is the second game that we've played against each other. We both roughly know each other's decks. The first game was very interesting because I actually got to fire off the offer you can't refuse combo. I basically fired off offer you can't refuse into Ichi 1.0 and basically trashed his entire rig, setting him very far back. Then I did the same thing again with Marcus Petty. That was a sight to behold for myself, but I don't think that was a very interesting game. This one is far more interesting, especially when both of us are playing a little better. So here what I do is to quickly try to get a Nisei Mark 2 out. It's pretty obvious that he is spending way too long to set up his rig, and he has no money. So I feel very safe in rushing out the Nisei Mark 2. From my first game with him, I saw that he didn't run inside job, so I felt pretty safe with Caprice protecting it. So I quickly pump out the Nisei Mark 2 and get the end run counter. Now this end run counter is pretty important. Judging by the fact that he's installing wireless net pavilions all over the place, getting his connection with Kitty Jones up through a remote network, you can be pretty sure that he's going to go tag me by spamming siphons, and when that happens, I cannot afford to trash his KT. So getting the end run token to counter the account siphon will be a very real need, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in a while. So he finally decides to run R&D, and I kick him out by ending the run with a code gate. He's still trying to find his last breaker. Once he has it, he'll be pretty powerful. Ichi is actually not very good against him, because now that he has net ready ice installed, he will always use it to soup up the Mimic. 4 strength Mimic is basically the best solution you have against an Ichi. Even without clicks, you can easily get through it for just 3 credits. So now he tries his hand at my HQ. I res the Excalibur here, and I am thinking of whether to res the Lotus Field on HQ. This is not a very easy choice. I decide to because I'm going for the credit denial route at this time. I don't mind him stealing the Mad Breakthrough from my hand. I am very concerned that he will get 2 extra credits from the Gabe's ability, and I certainly don't want that to happen. So meanwhile, he continues chalking out credits, and as you saw, I use my ID ability to quickly advance a future perfect. He definitely didn't see this one coming. Now I'm on 5 points with a Nisei Mark II token, making my life pretty easy. I can afford to sack 1 or 2 medical breakthroughs and enable myself to fast advance a 2-2 medical breakthrough to win the game. That is a very scary and real prospect that I'm looking to threaten. We'll see whether I can get that done or not. I also have a Caprice in the remote server, but I can't defend it. I can rest the Bako to force him to waste 1 credit, but I want to play the hedge fund in my hand. So I don't really have a choice at this point. I'm forced to let him have the Caprice, and this is probably a huge problem. I really needed the Caprice to protect my final agenda. Not having enough money meant that I wasn't able to do so. Money is the root of all evil, and in this case, money was the reason why I couldn't quickly win the game. If I had 5 more credits at this point in time, I would be able to keep the Caprice there, I would be able to play Hedge Fund, install Medical Breakthrough, advance to try to win the game next turn. That wasn't happening. And that's a very big problem. This deck is already running so many money cards. In fact, I'm splashing 7 influence points on green level clearances and sweet weeks, and it's still not enough. Money is just very hard to come by right now. This is why rush decks are just not that good, especially in JINTEKI. You would much rather play the slow game with Sundew and Mental Health Clinics to solidify your economy base. At that point, you just become very weak to the likes of Noise and all the slower runners. But this is no slow runner. Gabe has finally set up, and he's going all out with the account siphon. Judicious use of the Nisei Mark II token here. He is dirt poor. I don't want him to get rich quickly. He's getting out of my server, and because he ran through Excalibur, he cannot re-siphon me, at least not right now. Alright, so now that is done. I finally draw into my money cards, but it's a bit too late. 1 turn too late to defend that Caprice. I can score the Mad Breakthrough now, but I need the Caprice to defend that remote. What am I to do? Gabe, you are a tough nut to crack. You and your connections all over the world, even with a little dog at your disposal to break through my Lotus Field. How nasty it is. And that little dog only takes 3 credits to get through a field of Lotuses because of his Bionic Eye. That's ridiculous. And he goes for my remote. Bait successful. I actually did intend to bait him through this remote. I wanted him to spend all his money so that I maybe can find a scoring window. I don't mind going down to 3 credits here because I have Celeb Gift and Sweet Sweet in my hand. Now, Sweet Sweet is actually pretty nice against Drug Dealer. It's a subtle benefit. If he ends his turn on 5 cards, he starts my turn with 6. Sweet Sweet will net me 5 credits. That's pretty sweet. But I'm more looking to play the Celeb Gift instead. That will put me safely out of Siphon range. My only issue right now is I need a Marcus Betty or a Caprice Nisei to guard the remote before I can think of scoring agendas. Alright. Yep. So now he Dirty Laundries my hand, and this is where things get ugly. He is earning quite a bit of money. Gabe's ID ability is actually still pretty relevant, as I notice here. Gaining 2 credits, gaining 5 more credits from Dirty Laundry, and most importantly, this catalyzed him into stealing my Nisei Mark II. He's on match point now, and I cannot score that Nisei to win. The worst news is it is not a medical breakthrough, so I will not ever get the 2-2 dream medical breakthrough that I would like this game. the best would be a 3-2 medical breakthrough, which is still decent. It means that every time I slot a card into the remote, he has to respect the fact that it could be a 3-2 agenda, he has to check it. But it's not good enough, because I'd much rather win by fast advance. Well, there's nothing much I can do about that. I finally draw into my Caprice, so next turn, oh dear, side game. Future Perfect side game, on top of R&D. I'm on 6 credits, season 4, but it doesn't matter. I don't think I could have defended that for 2 more runs anyway. I got very unlucky with the Future Perfect top deck, but on the same token, I just couldn't rush out fast enough. So, the notorious criminal Gabriel Santiago has smashed through the greenhouse, destroyed all my fancy little crops, and prevented me from making a medical breakthrough. Was an offer you can't refuse that good? Well, this game I ended up ditching. I'm not sure if I drew one, but if I did, I ended up ditching it because it'll still require the 2-card combo. You need an EG 1.0 on the central server before you can play offer. And it doesn't catch all runners. The moment the runner has an SMC out, or a fairy, or a mimic with some form of strength raising or lowering, your Ichi is rendered useless, and you have to ditch your plan. It's very good if you get the combo early on, but then even if you get it early on, you'll be starved for credits after you play it. It's a 9 credit combo, it's very expensive. So it's very situational, and I don't think it's very good. But one big advantage it provides is, if you remember this game, Gabe was playing rather slowly. He wasn't running too much, just poking HQ here and there, but mostly spending his time setting up his rig and his resources. You can catch a runner off like that with an offer you can't refuse. It doesn't require the runner to have made a run the last turn. They could be in the middle of building the rig. They might have a code gate and a barrier breaker out, but no sentry breaker. That's the perfect time to strike to get your free agenda point. Well, it's not free. It costs 4 credits. Gabe is a naturally weak matchup for my rush deck. Siphon Criminals are very tough to handle with because you need to defend HQ. I needed to dedicate 2 eyes to HQ before even contemplating scoring in a remote, and that's horrible because this really slows me down. I had to invest 8 credits into the Excalibur into Lotus Field HQ, 8 credits that could have been gone to scoring my final agenda and protecting it with Caprice instead. Also, I didn't have the Nisei token as a backup, or as a safety net if he manages to get past my Caprice on the remote. Perhaps I should have placed Caprice on HQ and scored an agenda in the remote instead, using the Nisei Mark II token as defense. Perhaps. I think that might have been a better solution. Because Caprice in remote is naturally weak, because when the runner decides not to run the remote and you go down to a certain credit threshold, as I did this game, they'll just run it when you're poor and you cannot defend your Caprice. Now that I think of it, that might have been one play that I should have made instead. In any case, it's pretty hard to play Rush JINTEKI because your agenda suite is pretty crappy. Nisei Mark II is one of the best agendas in the game, but they do not accelerate your board state, unlike Accelerated Beta Test, pardon the pun, or Astroscript Pilot Program, or even the Wayland agendas, which at least give some money for you to snowball and continue scoring other agendas. None of the JINTEKI agendas give you money or help you in any way. Nisei Mark II is a defensive agenda, not an offensive one, and all other JINTEKI agendas are just crappy and they don't help you. It seems like JINTEKI is meant to be played slower than your typical NBN. You don't really want to play a Rush JINTEKI, and I guess I've been trying to make that work when it just doesn't work. Still, a pretty nice game to demonstrate that an offer you can't refuse isn't the worst card in the world. Now, once again, I would like you all to leave a comment in the comment section telling me what time it is, along with the time zone, or just standard universal coordinated time. I want to see everyone's demographics, and yes, again, I'll be live streaming in a few hours from uploading this video, so do stay tuned. In the meantime, thanks for watching and happy net running. See you later.